Welcome to the show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget that today's show sponsor is our friends over at Sweet and Savory. If you live in the Chattanooga area and you want a fun date night, or you're just looking to up your cooking game to the next level, you need to check out our friends over at Sweet and Savory. They can give you a fantastic night filled with a lot of fun, but also teach you the basics of cooking some of the best things you've ever eaten in your life. And the good news is that you don't just eat that food and then leave like you would any other restaurant on a date night, but you get to take the knowledge of how to cook that stuff when you come back to your own home. And even if you don't live in the Chattanooga area, you can benefit from some of the great online classes that they have at the Sweet and Savory classroom. So all the way around, you can't beat it. It's a fantastic Christmas gift, a great way to show your spouse that you care about them, and so much more. In order to see everything that Sweet and Savory can offer you, you need to go to their website, sweetandsavoryclassroom.com, and make sure when you check out that you use the promo code IndieThinker in order to get a discount and to let them know that IndieThinker sent you. Now, remember, there's two ways to vote. That's at the ballot box, but also with your wallet. If you want to support the causes that truly matter and the people that deserve to be supported, rather than to throw your money away on people and causes that do not support the things that you care about, well then you need to check out our friends over at Sweet and Savory. So once again, go to sweetandsavoryclassroom.com. Use the promo code IndieThinker when you check out. Trump does seem to attract very interesting people as leaders to his side.
We begin tonight with Musk and big balls.
Big balls.
Big balls.
Big balls.
Well, let's talk about big balls then.
But let's not fuss over that, because he has accomplished some pretty great things in just 3 weeks, so it seems to be working. I mean, he's defunded international abortion. He took U.S. tax dollars away from Al-Qaeda. He freezed all U.S. aid spending. He freed pro-life protesters, increased military recruitment to a 15-year high. He defenestrated China in Panama Canal. He peeled back concessions from allies on our borders, and he made them secure their side of the border. He released Hamas hostages. He saved sports from gender ideologues and saved children from quote-unquote gender-affirming care, and he's done so much more. And all that in just 2 weeks. So I don't think we should be too upset when Donald puts somebody in a position of power that we question a little bit, and he just recently did that when he announced that Paula White would become the leader for his White House faith office. Now, who is Paula White and why is she causing so much controversy online? Well, Paula White is a charismatic prosperity gospel. She's the former pastor of a large church in Lakeland, Florida called Without Walls, which I believe I've at least seen. I don't know if I've ever been there before, and it is truly, or at least was truly, a large church. And make no mistake about it, Paula White is a prosperity preacher.
House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
Along with being a prosperity preacher, she has the habit of many televangelists and other prosperity preachers. She has also been married 3 times. Here's a clip of her and her most recent husband preaching about, well, you'll hear.
Women should look at a man and find out what turns him on. Ladies, if you don't know what he likes, figure it out. Get a book. Go get some porn. Do something. Whatever. If he likes to watch porn with him.
Now, you can rest assured that what you just heard is not gospel preaching or anything that we ever wanted to hear. So, yeah, you can love your husband all you want, but already I am not a fan. The advice he gives at the end of that clip is absolutely not biblical advice. Which does remind me, we do not care about your sex life, pastors, and we do not want to hear about it. Please keep it to yourself. Also, I should mention the fact that the reason Paula White is in this position of power now is that she knows Donald Trump intimately. Let's just say that she was Donald's prayer partner, and they had a private meeting one time, a long time ago, before Donald Trump ever ran for office, and developed a relationship. Well, now that you've been introduced to Paula White, at least in part, let's ask the question, what does this mean? And I think the answer is nothing directly. This office holding is more symbolic than it is anything. Ultimately, she's not fulfilling the role of a pastor, and she's not going to be the nation's pastor or anything like that. She's basically just going to bring people in a room together to pray for Donald Trump. And so far, she's brought people like Jensen Franklin, who is somebody I respect, Tim Hill and Franklin Graham, and others to pray for the president. So I'm a fan of all that thus far. But indirectly, this does mean something. Ultimately, she's not going to be in a position of power to really do anything, but indirectly, it does mean something. It means that Trump has a sensitivity for Christians that other presidents, especially Joe Biden, did not. So him choosing Paula White shows that he cares about Christianity in a way that past presidents really haven't. And this was on full display when Trump just signed an executive order to protect citizens from anti-Christian hate. Here's Trump's EO. He said, "Yet the previous administration engaged in an egregious pattern of targeting peaceful Christians. While ignoring violent anti-Christian offenses, the Biden Department of Justice sought to squelch faith in the public square by bringing federal criminal charges and obtaining in numerous cases multi-year prison sentences against nearly 24 peaceful pro-life Christians for praying and demonstrating outside abortion facilities. Those convicted included a Catholic priest and a 75-year-old grandmother, as well as an 87-year-old woman and a father of 11 children who were arrested 18 months after praying and singing hymns outside an abortion facility in Tennessee as a part of a politically motivated prosecution campaign by the Biden administration. I rectified this injustice on January 23, 2025, by issuing pardons in these cases. At the same time, Catholic churches, charities, and pro-life centers sought justice for violence, theft, and arson perpetrated against them, which the Biden Department of Justice largely ignored. After more than 100 attacks, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a resolution condemning this violence and calling on the Biden administration to enforce the law." So what does all this mean? Donald Trump is merely trying to protect Christians because of the way the Biden administration militated against Christianity. So Paula White may not be the best choice. I would have chosen maybe this guy for the office, but he's at least attempting in the best way he knows how to place Christianity in a position of value in our country, and he's trying to say religious liberty and religious values actually should matter to us as a society. And for anybody that balks at the idea that the Biden administration militated actively against Christians, might I remind you, based upon these stats, that Biden actually did not give a damn whatsoever what was going on with Christians, especially pregnancy resource centers. While Biden was arresting 23 citizens practicing their First Amendment rights, PRCs were under attack by people like Jane's Revenge. As of January 23rd, 2025, 91 pregnancy resource centers have been attacked since the Dobbs decision was leaked. And now we're not talking about attacked by singing and praying. We're talking about places being lit on fire and people physically attacked. You can see on this map that the vast majority of anti-Christian hate has taken place against pregnancy resource centers, then also churches and political figures. As far as churches are concerned, the Conference of Catholic Bishops reported in 2022 that at least 366 incidents have occurred across 43 states at the District of Columbia since May 2020. So basically the moment Biden takes office, Catholic churches have been attacked. And this is just Catholic churches. And then of course, another council reported that they documented more than 430 incidents in 2023, more than double the number in 2022. That's an 800% increase in incidents since 2018, and an average of 39 attacks on churches monthly. You can see on this graph here that ever since Biden took office, Christian violence and Christian hate has risen exponentially. So hopefully we can see beyond a shadow of a doubt that even in our post-Christian society today, we have a group of people who are militating against Christianity in such a way that it needs to be protected. That's why I say that we should be pragmatic about this. Christians endlessly infighting with one another as to whether or not this is a good thing or whether or not a Pentecostal should be in a position of authority or anything like that, I think misses the forest for the trees. I see this very often with arguments online about the Daily Wire, just simply because Ben is a Jew. I say, one, get over your bigotry and realize the good that he has done for Christian conservatives and at least be willing to appreciate that. No, he's not a Christian and we don't worship the same God. However, take the W. Paula White is not the person that I would have chosen, but 20,000 Paula Whites is better than one Andy Stanley. So I think we should appreciate that. And we should appreciate the fact that we are in a fight. And let me be clear, we're in an ideological battle, not a physical battle. I don't want our kids to fight a physical battle, so I want to fight a battle of ideas right now in the present. And we are in a battle. When your government, under the Biden administration, puts out a 56-page document from the January 6th Select Committee suggesting that the real problem with January 6th was Christian nationalists, and then as a result, they call for the censorship of the media, and they call for the federal government to monitor churches so that they don't foster violent extremism. You can rest assured that religious liberty is not just under attack, but also our Constitution, and it means the death of America if these people get their way. So it's time for us to prepare for battle. It's time for us to stand up for what is right and not fuss over things that don't actually really matter. And this is a reminder. There are progressives and liberals out there who want to mock this executive order from Donald Trump and suggest that we're not really in a fight. Well, why might that be? Well, maybe for the same reason that the spider says to the fly, "Oh, don't worry about those webs. They're just there so that you can rest a little bit." Make no mistake, there is a group of people promoting an anti-Christian narrative out there, and they are ideologically bent on making sure that you are passive and docile and comfortable, and that you're spending all of your time talking about love and how kind you are, but not mad at what's going on in the world around us so that you never stand for truth. I like what Fulton Sheen said. He said, "Christianity, unlike any other religion in the world, begins with catastrophe and defeat. Sunshine religions and psychological inspiration collapse in calamity and wither in adversity. But the life of the founder of Christianity, having begun with the cross, ends with the empty tomb and victory." Make no mistake, the cross is all about salvation earned that Jesus could only afford. But if there is a symbol that we can take from the cross outside of that in a much lesser fashion, it is the symbol that Christianity, at least the biblical kind, and there is no other kind, calls you to difficulty and to suffering, and on the other end of that suffering and difficulty, to victory. If we are to truly follow our Savior, we must be willing to undergo whatever fight is necessary to make sure that we make this world a better place. And that means standing up for truth, especially in the public square. All right, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you found this show helpful to you, don't forget to become a member over at indythinker.org/support, where you can gain access to exclusives, extras, and perks like ebooks, audiobooks, and Christian films. Check out the description of this podcast to look for our sponsors, and most importantly, go with God.